Hi, and welcome to the World Networking Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Philosophical Detours number 4, Taoism. And Taoism is something that I'm still studying myself. This one, I'll be honest, I don't have many sources for because I'm so new into it, and it's such a deep yet universal subject of enlightening information, really. I think it's beautiful in the nature of it. Now, someone famous that a lot of people resonate with is Bruce Lee. He was famous for studying Taoist concepts or Tao concepts. I might be saying the wrong term. Yeah, okay. So Taoist is more of like the term for how people refer to the members of Taoism. So yes, it is a valid term. But in nature of Taoism, there's this whole concept of balance and flow to the life around you. It's all about how the accordance of nature and the balance of the cycles of life interchange in current time, like in the now. It's very much a in the now type of philosophy, at least from how I've gathered understanding from my intro into it. It is very, very peculiar to see how ingrained it is in Eastern philosophies too, where there's other coexisting beliefs that have very similar frames, very similar aspects to them. And I just think it's very beautiful in that aspect where you can have the balance of the nature within you by becoming level with the environment around you, becoming one essentially with that rhythm of life. Now I may be oversimplifying, um, but it really does seem like it's that simple of a I say simple, but simple, um, straightforward, I guess, way of conceptualizing a Taoist philosophy. It's peaceful though, in its existence. There's nothing in there that dismantles another religion, so to speak. It feels like it outright allows you to come and go. The religion itself is, or excuse me, the philosophy itself is very much like water. Ironically, it's interesting to reflect back on it too, from listening to a lot of Alan Watts lately on how the beliefs are very similar to hardly anything in the West. It's such a different thought process that most of the stuff we have in the West is hard to compare. Now, Stoicism is one thing, of course, I do enjoy studying as well, and it seems to feed into similar concepts with, having justice, temperance, courage, and wisdom being separate from this, but more so it being your personal balance, your personal control, like accepting your free will, accepting your, your rapids, your rough parts, the darker, deep, hard, angry, negative emotions, and accepting the positives, the good ones, the growing ones, the ones you want to encourage. Now, encouraging one means accepting the other. And that's the whole yin yang balance that is truly unique to it. In a sense where I find it kind of similar is that structure, they both have a structure of or a sense of encompassing connection. For Stoics, it's knowing that courage will lead to results in a very simplified manner, like having enough courage to at least face your life in a sense. Maybe that's a personal journey, maybe that's a public journey, a spiritual journey. Who's to say? But it's your journey to make and take. Now, Taoism's very similar. You have to flow. No one's going to flow for you. You have to learn to flow. You have to find your rhythm, find your pace. And for some people, that's really, really tough. I know with leadership and the episode I'm working on in IAP, it's very irritating to be in a leadership role when you can't understand where you need to flow, where you need to flex. And it repeats itself in history. There's plenty of war history, and then I know this is a war nerd in me speaking, but it's truly interesting to see these leaders and these massive countries and involved conflicts where they just miss a detail, or they send a few hundred men or thousand men to a certain location. All made a mistake, made a logistical mistake, maybe one of pride. Ignorance is bliss, as they say, and it costs lives, it costs sanity, it costs who knows, you name it. There's probably history on it. Like it is quite nuts to see how a brash decision can affect the way you flow, the way others flow around you. Maybe you create a dam. What are people going to get held up on your problem? Absolutely, they absolutely could. It's like uh, a country taking people into war. Like, yeah, you're taking your people into a conflict that they may not want. It's unfortunate, but this is reality as well, and we have to accept reality for what it is, and that's being able to flow with the decisions others make that you may not ever have control of, because it's not your free will to have. Now, I am no Eastern philosopher guru at all. That's why I'm not even gonna. I honestly am not even gonna quote notes for this one. I am gonna come back to Eastern philosophy as a subject to dive into in future. I just want to study a little bit more on it first, and kind of ironically flow with what studies are out there, because it's fascinating. It's truly fascinating stuff. And I think it's a positive for me right now. It's a positive to listen to that kind of stuff, to engage with that kind of stuff, because it's helping me reinforce in here. I need to slow down and remember that I can't push my way through. I can't carve something that's already been carved the way it that matters, you know? The way it needs to go. Like having patience, man. Just having patience can make the difference. Um, and knowing when to act, knowing when to assert yourself. It goes both ways, and you can't forget that. It's not just one. It's not just the other. It's balance of the two. It's a balance of everything. Now, I really enjoyed talking about this. I hope this made sense. It gets my brain spinning in circles thinking about this stuff sometimes, trying to line it up and frame it in a way that makes sense. Philosophy is very tough to talk about at times because of that. There's so many vast perspectives that have been had over the years, and I find that truly mesmerizing and a wonderful gift that we have in the field of knowledge to share with future generations, to share among ourselves, and to keep high spirits on, because there's always something to look forward to out there, right? There's always something and a new adventure, maybe intellectually, maybe conceptually, maybe in our imaginations. But there's something, and you know what? Dive on in, right? Go explore, go learn something new today. That's what I implore you to do. Flow with the environment around you and see if there's something new you noticed. Because I know that sometimes when I take a step back, I can notice some places I want to take a step forward. I hope you all have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me on this Philosophical Detours number 4. This has been the World Networking Podcast.